Good evening. How are you? My name is Michael O'Keefe, aka the Movie Mystic, and tonight we're going to be talking about Mondo Canes, or Mondo films, as it says on Wikipedia. So, what is that? And why am I talking about it? You are perhaps asking if you're watching. So, Mondo Canes are like shockumentaries from back in the day. Like in the 60s, throughout the 70s. It was sort of like in the exploitation glory days, you had a lot of, you had stuff that maybe was better known, like blaxploitation or kung fu or spaghetti westerns or whatever. But then you had, sort of things like, hardcore porn, and then also shockumentaries or Mondo Canes. And yeah, so look at this. I'll read this definition, then I'll explain it a little bit. So Mondo films are a subgenre of exploitation films and documentary films. Many Mondo films are made in a way to resemble a pseudo-documentary and usually depicting sensational topics, scenes, or situations. Common traits of Mondo films include portrayals of foreign cultures, which have drawn accusations of ethnocentrism or racism, an emphasis on taboo subjects such as death and sex, and stage sequences presented as genuine documentary footage. Over time, the films have placed increasing emphasis on footage of the dead and dying, both real and fake. The genre is also noted for the graphic footage of death and diseased people, often shown in many films, leading to the popular nickname of death film. Okay, so that's pretty intense stuff. And it's sort of interesting in an era where we have, fake news or the mainstream media is increasingly unpopular. So fake news can sort of just depend on where you stand. Like, the algorithm just gives us stuff that we want to believe in. So I think I'm personally interested in propaganda and what even that is, and certainly when you hear about stage deaths or there's like in one of the movies I want to talk about, there's a scene. It's like a staged Arab sex slave auction, and you're gonna be pissed off when you see that. I think like when it comes to the news, like they talk about deepfake as the end of the world. I think there's genuinely not too much stuff like that that passes as news, but there is stuff like that. Like let's not get it twisted. And this idea of ethnocentrism is interesting to me because they show sort of like the sex trade or occult rituals. They basically just show the most sensationalist elements of a certain culture that is for certainly a white audience in Italy or the States or Canada. They don't know anything about it, and they're just getting the most salacious details. So you can say that stuff is true or it's real. It doesn't have to be staged, but it is kind of racist in a sense by putting that in the forefront and not giving you a full sense of different cultures. I mean, like, the only real way to get there is to travel yourself, and even still, you're not going to. I would argue you're never going to get another community if you're not from that community. So there's overt hatred, and then there's getting things wrong with assumptions, and I think we're all guilty of that to an extent, of cultures and groups that we're not in. But these movies are pretty out there for sure. I was going through some trailers of stuff that I want to show, and I'm definitely gonna show you like the original Mondo Cane, Mondo Topless, Mondo Bolorado, and then I'm going to tell you about some other movies that are available through Seven Films. So, but there is some stuff I just skipped over, including like Cannibal Holocaust or Goodbye Uncle Tom, movies that it's Sunday at 10:30. Let's be real, I'm just not in the mood for it. So okay, I thought it'd be cool though to go through this Wikipedia page, look at some stuff, and then go to those other things and our reacts and tell you about different things along the way. So thanks for rocking with me tonight. My name is Michael O'Keefe. Please call me the Movie Mystic. I have a show called Mystic and Severe on a Ottawa, Ontario radio station called CKCUFM. It's done through the university, Carleton University. If you're not familiar with Ottawa, we have two universities. We have Carleton University, Ottawa U. I got love for both, but I got a little bit more for Carleton. But, it's all good. And you can catch my show every 2 weeks. So just this week. And it's from midnight to 2 a.m. Wednesday nights. You can hear my voice babble away for nearly 2 hours. And it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing it. Cover film festivals, talk to all kinds of cool people. It's mostly film industry interviews, and you get some tracks and reviews along the way, too. All right. And then if you want to follow more, obviously sub to this YouTube channel, but then also join the Facebook group, Mystic and Severe on CKCOFM. And then check me out on Twitter, movie_mystic, Instagram, Movie Mystic 2021, and Letterboxd. You can read my reviews. I'm the Movie Mystic there. All right, so let's get it. So the term mondo is derived from the Italian word of world. Okay, the term shockumentary is also used to describe the genre. Okay. Mondo films began to soar in popularity in the 1960s with the release of Mondo Cane. I have this soundtrack on vinyl. It's an Italian Mondo documentary film written and directed by Paolo Guevara, Franco Prosperi, and Gualtieri Giacomotti. The film, okay, we can't read the whole thing there. But that soundtrack's pretty cool. It's not the best. It's not the most lively thing. And honestly, I would put these movies on sort of like as like social research to sort of understand how some people were thinking at the time while you're cleaning the house. Maybe not like make a huge event of it. Don't like pick it. If you're trying to get into exploitation movies with your friends, maybe don't pick these movies to start. These are deep cuts, but I love doing these streams because I explore these sort of things, these deep cuts, these deep cut genres, different filmmakers. That's the whole thing. It's like, it's liberating. It's fun. All right, so they began with to soar in popularity with Mondo Cane, Woman of the World. I haven't seen that. Africa Adito, also known as Africa Blood and Guts. I've heard that title. Movie I have not seen, but I think I wanted to see it for a long time. The genre arguably reaches peak with Faces of Death in 1978. So that's a long run. 16 years is definitely a long run. A film that inspired a myriad of imitators such as Traces of Death series, banned from television, Death Scenes, and the Faces of Gore series. Well then. Okay. Wow. Okay. Although earlier films such as Alessandro Blasati's Europe by Night and Luigi Vinci's World by Night may be considered examples of the genre, the origins of Mondo documentary are generally traced to the 1962 film Mondo Cane, A Dog's World, a mild Italian profanity. By those guys, which was a commercial success. Okay. Documentary films imitating Mondo Cane in the 60s often included the term Mondo in their titles, even if they were in English. Examples include Mondo Bizarro, Mondo Daytona, Mondo Mod, Mondo Infame, and Mondo Hollywood. And, of course, Mondo Topless. And then Mondo Brutale, a German release of Wes Craven's Last House on the Left. That's hilarious. Mondo Brutale. That does explain it, but it's so funny that it was marketed in that sense. Yeah. Later in the decade, this naming convention began to fall out of favor, and fewer Mondo films identified themselves as such in their titles. However, I forgot to point this out, and sort of the reason for why I'm doing this broadcast, one of the reasons why I'm doing this broadcast, is if you go to Mystic and Severe at CKCOFM, you will find the latest broadcast is called Mondo Movie Mysticism. I'll probably never get to say that again in the stream because I've talked about that broadcast already. But yeah, my latest broadcast, Mondo Movie Mysticism, bringing the term Mondo before something else, the rest of the title, back in fashion to an extent. To an extent. It actually happened. I don't know if it's really in fashion. But still, bro. Trying to bring back the old school. Alright, so filmmakers wanted to top each other in shock value to attract audiences. Cruelty to animals, accidents, travel, initiation rites, and surgeries are features of a typical Mondo. Much of the action is staged, although the filmmakers may claim the goal is to document reality. Subjects of Mondo films include sex, Mondo sex, and Mondo sexualis. Celebrities, Mondo Elvis and Mondo Lugosi. Youth culture, Mondo Tino. And the gay subculture, Mondo Rocco. Russ Meyer's film, Mondo Topless, was one of the first few documentaries resistant to the old midnight movie circuit in the pre-VCR era. It explored strip clubs in the 60s, San Francisco, at a time where strip clubs were a novelty in the United States, resistant to centers of port city decadence such as San Francisco. That's interesting. I don't know. What do I know? Other examples of the genre include Mondo New York by Harvey Keith, Mondo de Notte by Gianni Proria, and Mondo Ballardo by Roberto Bianchi Montero. So we'll be looking at that. And I also think I pronounced that name pretty well, even though, it was still shittily. The 1980s saw a resurgence of Mondo movies focusing almost exclusively on on-screen death instead of world cultures. Think Cannibal Holocaust. The Faces of Death series is a notable example of this type of Mondo or death movie. The producers used fake footage, passed off as real, but some of the footage was legitimate, including scenes of autopsies, suicides, and accidents. Yeah, I'm not down, man. See, I'm not gonna watch that. I don't watch real death on film. That's not something that I do. So that's a pass for me. The rare 1985 Mondo Sensivelli, World Without Veils, or Mondo Fresh, was purported by viewers to feature at its end the brutal execution of a young Arab rapist by Jesus Christ. Alright, so God, this is trash. A number of the films have parodied by the genre. Examples include Riccardo Fratelli's Mondo Ford, Mr. Mike's Mondo Video by Saturday Night Live's Michael O'Donoghue. Well, that's kind of neat. And Is There Sex After Death by Gene and Alan Abel. Mondo Biondo spoofed the film's approach to titling, but was a parody of satellite television. The Italian Cannibal film is arguably an offshoot of the Mondo film. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the first Cannibal film, is The Man by Deep River, or what the fuck? What is it? Let's look it up. The Man in Deep River. That can't be it. Man from Deep River. So this is the first Italian cannibal movie by the great Umberto Lenzi. But then, of course, you've got also by Lenzi, Cannibal Ferox. Oops. Eating. That's not what I want. Eating. The Wikipedia page for Eating. Eaten Alive. And then these are the most notable ones. Of course, these are the ones. Jungle Holocaust. Of course, Cannibal Holocaust. The most notorious. And I'm even going to throw in... Oh, what was I going to do? So it sounded like a gross out fest between Umberto Lenzi and Rogerio Deodato, where Deodato certainly wins with Cannibal Holocaust. But there was another one. Well, there's Mountain of the Cannibal God. Yeah. By Sergio Martino, who I interviewed. I don't know if I asked him about this movie, though. Oh, the poster by Enzo Sciatti. This is sort of a diversion, but the man just died last week. It's been 1 week since he's been dead. R.I.P. Enzo. He was a Facebook friend. Never talked to him, though. What's the other one I wanted to look up? Oh, of course, you have... I'm misspelling it, but, come on. Oh, they don't show it. You goons. Emmanuel, the last cannibals. What a bunch of jerks. Anyways. So, cannibal movies, they are sort of like, they have footage of animals being killed, and they killed animals for those. That's for sure. We know that for a fact. And, I know what I wanted to show. Come on. No. This is integral. You have to see this by Bruno Mattei. And we're getting there. Yeah, it might not be there. You might not be able to see it. However, the jail woman's held. I don't know, dead. Or in the land of the cannibals, or Mondo Cannibal. That's what I'm looking for. I can't find that there, but yeah, that was the thing. I wasn't wrong. All right, Mondo Cannibal is like the funniest cannibal movie of them all. It's I talked about it. I'm realizing now I talked about it on the Bruno Mattei stream. But it's a European TV news crew is trying to compete with the war in Iraq in 2003 by staging cannibalism, which is pretty hilarious in a very dark way. So, these are your first ones, your first round, and image that, and then in 1969. So these are some other guys. You know, I haven't seen these movies, so I can't really react to them. I haven't seen too many of these movies, but they're fun. Okay. The Faces of Death, I'm going to have nothing to do with it. I'm not going to see any of those movies. They did a Mondo Cane 4 in 92. And, alright. So we touched on all these. Echo is really good. We're going to talk about that in a bit. And Mondo Topless, I love. Mondo Bizarro is fun. So, this is America. Have I heard about that? I might have. No, The Killing of America. I've heard of this. Anyways. There you go. So that's a Wikipedia page for Mondo Cane. Or Mondo Films, as they say. Mondo Film. So let's look at some trailers. And then we're going to do 2 trailers, an intro to Mondo Topless, and I'm going to tell you what's some Blu-rays, and then I'm going to skedaddle.
Mondo Cane.
Mondo Cane?
The world are talking about Mondo Cane.
No, Mondo Cane, damn it.
Has more in it to talk about than any picture ever before seen.
I refuse to say Mondo Cane. I'll never do it.
Mondo Cane is a spectacle as big as the eye can see. This intimate as the pleasure.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mondo Cane is a picture.
I hope this trailer isn't too rough.
The unusual.
If I didn't remember, this movie was pretty tame.
And the laughable.
Nice. I mean,
Mondo Cane shows you the worst of man's bloodlust.
no. Good.
And the most daring of his foolhardy braveries.
I'm almost afraid to play this trailer.
Mondo Cane will show you man's
That's not so bad.
masochistic self-mutilation, reaching for his God. And his defiance of death, seeking eternal life. You'll see civilized people behaving like savages. Sailors on the run because bikini babes are afloat.
Nice. Good luck, buddy. Oh my.
Mondo Cane will fascinate and intrigue.
Now we're in Japan. Jesus.
Mondo Cane will be the most talked about picture in
Get some
years.
geishas? Huh? Is that what we have here?
You will know the full power of the motion picture
Oh,
screen.
thank God they cut it like this.
Wholly unbelievable, but wholly
I'm not trying to see an animal get killed right now. You know what I mean? Well, what a great quote. Yeah, that's true. This is pre-Vice. I don't mean Vice News, I mean Vice. Back when Vice would, travel the world and show you all the salacious stuff. You know, what they were saying, like, on Wikipedia, like, not necessarily things that aren't true, but focusing on the most sensational things to give you a distorted, somewhat racist understanding of the world. Because, speaking for myself, and other dudes I know, like, Vice is our window into different cultures that we can't go to. Like, when you see their video on the former Yugoslavian countries, or, places in the Middle East, or Thailand, you're getting a sense of what it's like, but you were getting a calculated sense. Back in the days when it was Vice. Now it's Vice News. Now it's just like mini CNN. It's a Time Warner company. It's just CNN for young people. So now that's a whole other story. Anyways, this is NSW. I don't know what that is. The NSFW. This is an awesome thing. Maybe I'll just play a minute of this or something, or 30 seconds. But I love Russ Meyer, and I remember I rented this Mondo Cane. Oh, nice. From the Invisible Cinema store in Ottawa, and it was fun. It was a lot of shaking for an hour, and then it was over. It was a nice way to spend a Saturday night. Had to stay to watch this. It was a good time. But I don't want to get hit with copyright, so we should play this for a second. Oh yes, Russ Meyer, the man. Oh my God! Alright, that's enough. That's enough. I'm gonna get pulled from YouTube. It's a fun time. It's a good time. And then we got Mondo Colorado. And I know I can play their trailer because Seven said I could play all their trailers, so YouTube relax. And so there you go. You can buy Mondo Colorado off Separate Films. This is the Blu-ray, not the DVD. And it's great. It's narrated by Boris Karloff. Hello. Oh my. It's just, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And what's funny is it's narrated by a crusty guy like Boris Karloff. In one of the most infamous Mondo movies of all, host Boris Karloff guides you through the throbbing and pulsing with life from the jungles of orgies of primitive tribes to sin-filled evenings of London sophisticates. Along the way, you'll also experience Bedouin pimps, amorous dwarfs, Spanish transvestites, German lesbians, Indian exorcists, Neapolitan cigarette smugglers, and Chinese bondage models. What a mouthful. Now scanned in 4K for the original. Okay. And then this great movie, The Orientals. I mean, Jesus Christ. There's a documentary called The Orientals. It's actually not really a documentary. It's sort of sketches. It's like, what do you say, vignettes? I don't know. It's like, it's a movie consisting of shorts of life in Asia. And of course it's horrible, according to this. And it's scanned from 35mm print from the Something Weird archives. Of course. Yeah, so when Severin released this, it was with this movie too, which we're going to talk about in a second. And it was like in like a little box set, like a 2-movie box set. But you had 2 movies in each disc, so you're really getting 4 movies. And they did the same thing with this package too. You get Mondo. They did this the year earlier in 2018, I think. Was it 2018? Yeah, it was 2018. So it was Mondo Freudo and Mondo Bizarro, and then you got Echo and the Forbidden. Yeah. What I did was the box set looked so cool for this release, but I slept on it. I didn't get it, and then it's gone. So when Mondo Colorado and The Wild Wild World of Jane Mansfield, goddamn, get me out of here, came out together in like a mini box set, I snatched that up, man. It was on the Black Friday sale. I got that box set, and then I ordered these 2 just like by themselves, solo release, as well as some shot on video horror movies. So that was that, and that was fun. And let's watch that Mondo Colorado trailer.
This is Boris Karloff inviting you to witness an utterly fantastic collection of the most incredible and unusual sequences ever filmed.
Nice.
Our crazy world, a jungle of human passions, a world of wonder and excitement, beauty and terror, throbbing and pulsating with love in its infinite varieties, dominated by the most savage beast of all, man himself. Like his 4-legged brothers, man is always on the prowl, but man alone seeks his pleasures in strange and devious ways, stalking his prey in the dark of night, and even in broad daylight.
Nice.
For the first time on the screen, Mondo Colorado.
I wish Boris Karloff was talking
to reveal the shocking truths about man's secret loves and perverted pleasures. With Boris Karloff as your personal guide on an eye-expanding trip to the bizarre and curious corners of our crazy world.
Awesome.
The probing eyes of hidden cameras expose the shocking extremes of man's insatiable hungers. From uninhibited native ceremonies to sophisticated rituals of civilized savages.
This is Berlin.
With naked claws.
Damn.
But man is not always a man, and seeing is not always believing. As Mondo Colorado takes you off the beaten path where the guided tours never go. To hangouts in Denmark, where love abounds in many forms, in the midst of controversial medical discoveries.
Oh.
To ancient Arabia, where women will go to any length to attract a man, even though their resources are limited. To exotic Hong Kong, where ecstasy is experienced in clouds of dream smoke. To the back alleys of London, where economy is the mother of invention in a bizarre share-a-wife plan. Authentic scenes of life in the raw, photographed in secret, shockingly revealed for the first time in Mondo Colorado.
Colorado.
So different you won't believe it even after you've seen it.
There you go. Fun stuff. Old-timey things. And then you get this lovely release as well. You can buy this off Severin. From producer Dick Randall comes the notorious Mondo mashup, in which Jane Mansfield sounded like narrates footage of Jane being chased by paparazzi in Rome, wearing bikinis in Cannes, and partying with drag queens in Paris, before suddenly veering into graphic photos of her horrific accident and posthumous tour of her Hollywood mansion. Mickey Harrogate co-stars in this deranged kaleidoscope of titillating insanity. It comes from something weird. The Elements. And yeah, you get this like cool interview with ST Video Master version of the feature. Okay. Yeah, The Devil and Jane, the interview with Anton LaVey, biographer Blanche Barton. And they talk about Jane's relationship with Satanism. It's pretty interesting. And then I love this bonus movie, Wild, Weird, Wonderful Italians. And the elements come from something weird. That's a great one. It's a solid travelogue that makes Italians look very strange. And fun and loving. And that's good stuff. I wish I had trailers for this to show. Oh, what were the pictures for this, though? Let's look at that. Ooh. Yummy. Huh. That's a great picture. Anyways. These movies are hilarious. These are maybe my favorite ones. Look at this. Let's look at these pictures. Mondo Frodo, Mondo Bizarro. Jesus. Ah! Alright. In 1966, the notorious producer, director, and distributor team of Lee Frost and Bob Creasy combined the extremes of the Mondo genre with their own depraved aesthetics to create two shockumentaries that put Olympic International on the map and changed the face of exploitation forever. Okay. Creasy himself narrates Mondo Frodo, a world of sex and the strange, of unusual laws that govern it, featuring Hollywood strippers, Tijuana hookers, London lesbians, Times Square Satanists, and topless Watsu clubs. In Mondo Bizarro, the team's hidden cameras go beyond the beyond to expose Bahamian voodoo rites, Japanese massage parlors, Nazi theater, and an Arab sex slave auction that looks essentially like LA's Bronson Canyon. That is peak cinema. Peak cinema. Both films have, they're from something weird elements, okay. And then, you get two fun audio commentary tracks on both movies, right? With Johnny Legend and Eric Caden. The Cadavere is Infinity, Bob Creasy, Lee Frost, and The Birth of American Mondo, an interview with Chris Bugali. And then you get the trailers. This is an awesome one. If you're going to go for, Jesus Christ. If you're going to go for one of the four that I mentioned from Severin, go for this one, man. And then these ones are cool too. Yeah. This is what I would go for next. So, in 1963, newly rookie filmmakers Bob Creasy and Lee Frost saw the U.S. courses of Mondo Cane and quickly imported and adapted one of the most provocative and successful shockumentaries of the decade. Narrated by Academy Award winner George Sanders from All About Eve. Another crusty dude like Boris Karloff, who that's my ideal situation for a Mondo Cane. That it's like the most shocking images narrated by some British upper crust who there's no way he'll ever get what he's talking about. It sort of adds to the layers into the humor, in my opinion. All right, and then Riz Ortolani does the score. Man, Riz Ortolani is like the Mondo Cane guy, because he does these movies. He did the first Mondo Cane, and he did Cannibal Holocaust. I mean, if there is a composer for this genre, it's Riz Ortolani. And then Echo explores a world of sadism, delinquency, roller derby, extreme piercing, appalling stereotypes, and the infamous Lapland woman castrating reindeer with her teeth sequence. And then the bonus feature, The Forbidden, that's fun, is Frost and Creasy's rarely seen and totally insane 1966 fake Mondo, packed with sage scenes of Swiss lesbians, LA rapists, Parisian tarts, and Nazi strippers. And then you get David Goldstein talking about Bob Creasy, which is a great interview. I love that. And then I Want More, which is all about swingers in the 60s in LA. Well, like, people who work, let's just say they worked in sex work in Hollywood back in the 60s. It's like half an hour, and I like it. I like it. I'm sorry. And then the Echo trailer. So, take it for what it is. Maybe not the most PC movies, but prophetic in a sense of fake news, Vice, and just degenerate cinema in general. Subgenre, I would say, a deep cut to be sure. The Mondo film, the Mondo Cane. Hopefully this was interesting for you. That's it for me. I'm signing off, and I hope you guys have a great night.